everyone, welcome back to Beneath the Surface, where we're discussing my new book, Only Say Good Things. We have the US cover here and the UK cover. I love them both so much. And today we are going into both chapter 3 and chapter 4 with my best childhood friend, Erin. We are still best friends to this day. We have been friends since we were 12 years old. And so she has known me through a lot of these chapters. She knew me through the awkward stages. She knew me through different boyfriends that I talk about in the book. She knew Greg, the love that I lost. And so it'll just be nice to really have a good catch up with her. And the next 2 episodes are both going to be with Erin because she is someone who is very close to me and has a lot to say about chapters 3 and 4. So here we go, starting with chapter 3, Awkward Teenage Blues. Hi, Erin.
Hi.
I love being able to do a podcast with my bestie since forever.
I know, I'm excited to join you from my closet.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, are you in the closet? But you said it was because you have like the kids and the dogs and everything going on. So that's your
This is my hideaway.
place of peace right now. Oh my gosh. Okay, so we're going to get right into it. I took some notes because I just kind of went through the chapters. So chapters 3 and 4, chapter 3 is called Awkward Teenage Blues, and chapter 4 is called True Love. So I kind of wanted to go through chapter 3 and 4 with you because those are the childhood chapters, and those are the chapters where I felt you and I were in each other's lives like every day at that point. We were besties. We met when we were 12.
7th grade.
7th grade at Muirlands.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And I was...
Well, and like, we were both new at that point, like to the school, to the area, all of that. So I think that helped.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. My memory sucks. I know that like both of our memories kind of suck. But I feel like you have a better memory than I do. You went to like a different elementary school. Was it like in Mission Hills or like somewhere away from La Jolla, right?
Yeah, in like the neighborhood I grew up in. So yeah, when I came to Muirlands in 7th grade, it was like totally different. Didn't really know anybody, brand new. It was like, yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah. And same here because my mom and I, we lived in Chula Vista, and then my mom got remarried to Lyall, and he lived in a townhouse in La Jolla. So I was then in the school district. You know, we didn't have any money, but at that time it's like, okay, now I'm technically in the La Jolla school district. So now I get to go to Muirlands and La Jolla High, which I was grateful for. You know, I feel like our education there was really good.
Mm-hmm.
Like
yeah,
a lot of
was the draw.
Yeah. There were a lot of private schools, but people were saying that like La Jolla public school was just as good as private. So a lot of people just went there, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think so.
I think so.
And then, so we both weren't really in the districts.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of by marriage, and then so how were you in the La Jolla district if you lived in?
I think there's different programs and stuff that allow you to like come in from the outside, either by grades or whatnot. So I think I got in that way. And my dad kind of worked with some of the school districts and stuff. So he had some connections as well. So that may have had something to do with it. But yeah, regardless, I ended up there.
We got there and we survived it because it could also be very hard and very catty at times. I do remember that. So I'm so grateful that we had each other. Do you remember when we first met?
I do.
You do?
I remember. I don't know if you remember it the same or if you remember it at all, but I remember being in math class, and it was like our first day, and then we were both headed to Spanish class right after that. And so I overheard you saying like you were going over to whatever class for Spanish. And so I was like, I'm going to. And I think that's kind of how it started.
Really? Was it Mr.
Hmm.
Lobo?
Yeah.
Didn't he get arrested or something for like child pornography?
I don't know. I heard some rumors about something, but I don't even know for sure.
I think he went to
But it
jail.
wouldn't be surprising.
I think he went to jail. That was a weird class. I did feel like he was more of just all of our friend
Hmm.
instead of a
Yeah, like he was
teacher.
more interested in being everyone's friend than teacher or mentor, or
It
it
was
was
weird.
interesting.
Yeah, I think
Hmm.
there were definitely some things like there was something that was weird about that teacher. But
Yeah.
yeah, so we were in Spanish class. We met some other friends like along the way. We ended up
Hmm.
meeting Shannon
Hmm.
and Rachel. We had a little squad for a while.
We had a little crew that kind of like we got through, I think, all the way from middle school through high school, a little crew.
Yeah. Kelsey, remember her?
Hmm.
And then some we
Hmm.
picked up and lost along the way,
Yeah.
like the other Rachel. And yeah, I don't know. We weren't like really that popular, were we? Or we kind of like mixed in and out of that crowd a little bit, or we didn't want to be. I don't really
Yeah.
remember. Yeah.
I feel like, no, I was not popular at all, but I feel like you said, like, we kind of mixed in a little bit, just like, I don't know, through, I don't even know, like partying or I don't know, we'd kind of mix in and out, but like ultimately, I think we just kind of gravitated towards our own little crew.
Yeah. Yeah. Cause it got really terrible in high school. I do remember that. Um, yeah. Like very competitive with all the girls and stuff.
Yeah. I kind of tried to stay out of the drama.
Yeah. 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 I always remember like you were just super chill and yeah, you stayed away from drama.
I
I
tried.
don't remember what I was like. Probably really awkward.
No, I don't think so. I feel like everybody liked you. I mean, I feel like everybody liked you. You were just like friendly and fun. And I don't know. I think I don't know. Well, I think we were kind of like low key, like nerds, like nerdy. Like we just wanted to like just hang. But then there was kind of like that pressure of like fitting in and like trying to, hang with the right crowd or whatever and do those kinds of things. So it was kind of like a mix of like, okay, we want to go watch like a Disney movie or something.
There was that pressure. And I think I felt more of an outsider because compared to those kids, like I was a poor kid. Like compared to
Hmm.
those kids, it
Yeah.
was crazy. Like all those mansions and the
Yeah.
cars and
Well, and I
mommy and
don't
daddy's
know
credit
about you,
cards.
but I don't think it was apparent that there was such like a difference. Like I didn't feel like much of an outsider until I came to that school, and then it was like, whoa, like there's a huge difference here between like me and these people. And then it was like, okay, let's try to fit in. And it was like, my poor parents. It's like, let me buy these $200 jeans, and now I want these. It was just like
Yeah.
always trying to fit in that way, or just it just became super obvious that like we weren't from the same, I don't know, like social status or
Yeah.
something.
The economic, like the money stuff and the class
Yeah.
stuff was a little off. But it's kind of shitty that we were both made to feel differently because of that,
Yeah.
or that we weren't enough.
Yeah.
Because I feel that we did feed into the $200 jean craze, like the Frankie Bees.
Yeah. Yeah.
I remember those, and those were the worst jeans
Oh
ever.
my gosh. They were like falling off of our butts and like,
Yeah, like your butt crack was out the whole time,
yeah,
pretty
I
much.
know.
And you sit down, and then it's like halfway down your butt, and then your underwear is like sticking way up high. So you're constantly having to pull your pants up all day. And then the shoes were like rocket dogs. Did you ever have those?
Yeah. Yeah. The
Yeah.
like
So then
thick
you're
sandals.
you're trying to balance in your Frankie Bees, and you got these platform rocket dogs. And then if your ankle like accidentally turns, you fall down, and then your pants rip off.
It was quite the hazard. I don't know how we managed.
And I also feel what else did we have? The juicy track suits.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Like you
So
weren't
many
cool if
juices.
you had that, and those were like $200. I feel.
Hmm. They were not cheap.
Yeah, I don't remember how much they were. Like, I feel like they were like 140 just for the zip up top. And then like, I don't know, maybe 100 or 70 for the pants. I don't know. But yeah, and our
Yeah.
parents are, we're asking for these things and our parents
Yeah.
are
At a time
probably
when
like,
we're 15 years old, you know, that's a lot of money for an outfit.
I know. It's sad. I feel that was my kind of first foray into like not feeling like enough or feeling like,
Totally.
actually, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know that it was anybody's fault really per se, but I think it was just like that age where you're, you know, at 12, 13, 14, you're just getting to know yourself and it's like you're just uncomfortable in who you are and like all you want to do is fit in and just like make friends and stuff. And so you kind of feel that pressure. But yeah, I think we
Yeah,
just,
it was a little rough.
hmm
I guess what I was kind of wondering is how we are different now than we were then, like, or and how we are the same.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, in terms of like our friendship or in terms of like individually
Individual
how
like
we're,
personalities and stuff, like how we're
yeah,
the same and how we're different. Um,
from
I
when
feel
we
like
were that age.
yeah, I feel like there was something about you that always seemed like very responsible. Like there was something about you that always seemed like, okay, like she'll always have it together. She'll always, see something through, like very, very responsible. I've seen that kind of follow you through like your life and
Hmm.
through having your kids. And they're like the two best behaved children I've ever met in my life. And they're just so sweet. And you have this calmness about you that I think you always had. And
Hmm.
also this like effortlessly beautiful kind of vibe. And I think it
Oh,
has to do also with like you're a Libra. I don't know. We're into astrology. And there's
yeah.
something like that Libra energy where it's just like this effortless like beauty and you carry like internal and external. And yeah, you've always had that. And I think that's like, it's really cool.
Thank
And
you.
as far as different, see with my own self, I like can't really, but like with um, as far as different, I feel that we've definitely grown up a lot because you and I used to
Mhm.
like party. We used to like it was cool to drink and like get drunk and party
Mhm.
with your friends, especially when you weren't old enough. Like it was way cooler before you're 21. But I think we yeah, I think now like the party days are kind of over.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I can't drink more than like two drinks
Yeah.
anymore.
I know, and I don't even
Well,
drink. When I drink one, it feels like I've had 10.
yeah, exactly. And just I think having kids makes it everything a little bit harder.
Yeah.
In that sense, like yeah, there you can't do as much stuff without a consequence, you know.
Yeah.
So
That's very true.
but yeah, I mean I've I think I've changed a lot since high school, just more in the sense that like I've come to know like who I am more and like be more confident in who I am. At the time, I think I was just so like I hate to say insecure because I feel like I don't know if it was insecure, but I think it was like it maybe came across that way, but I think it was just so unsure of like who I am and like, you know, I was just kind of shy and was afraid to like look stupid or mess up or something. So it was just like very cautious and careful. And now I'm a little bit more sure of who I am. And so it makes it easier to like take risks. And um, I feel like you have some of that too. Like you've taken so many more risks and like you're just much more confident and free and like who you are. And I think that shows a lot.
Thank you. I guess maybe that happened over time. I'm not sure. I don't know if I was
Yeah.
always that way or
Yeah. No, I think it happened over time and just like with experience. And then, of course, like these last few years, I feel like you've really focused on who you are and who you want to be and all of that. So, but
thanks.
yeah, I
I'm like,
think even like when we were young, like young, like in middle school, when we were kids, middle school, high school, like we just, you know, and I think every teenager is kind of this way, but you just have this invincibility thing where you're just like, I can't get in trouble and I can't get hurt and I can't do anything wrong. Like, you know, something's always going to work out. And maybe in
yeah.
some ways that was like to our benefit because it allowed us to do things without kind of like a fear of messing up or something. But I don't know.
Yeah. Like
I
without
think you,
consequences or you didn't really.
yeah. And I think that
Yeah.
helped you kind of get to like where you are now. Because like I think I think I heard you say somewhere else, like you just kind of had this boldness about you then that maybe you don't feel as much now, but like somehow it was there.
Yeah, I felt very awkward in high school, and I feel there was some kind of weird drive that I had. I don't know where it came from, but maybe it was, I'm not as sure. I think seeing all those kids and feeling like, okay, most of these kids are horrible and but yet they like have all of this stuff. Like why?
Yeah.
And they have this amazing life, and remember that those like Sweet 16 filming things? Like they would film those girls and I don't know what it was, 15 or 16,
Yeah,
16.
Super Sweet 16.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh my gosh, they're like driving around in their Rolls Royces and all this crazy stuff. And I'm like, these people are so spoiled and they have all this and it's not fair. And I just felt like, I don't know. I just felt like something's got to change. And I just had this like
Yeah.
weird drive that I don't really, but a lot of insecurity. So I'm not sure how that worked, but
it was almost like the insecurity was masked in a way, because I feel like you still had this like outward confidence. Like even if you didn't feel it inwardly, I feel like you had this outward confidence that, like I think we all felt awkward in those years, but like you still had something confident about you that, got you to the next step, to the next step, to the next step,
Interesting. Yeah. I did think, I'm like, what are all the steps that happened that made it so that I submitted a photo to go to a Playboy party? I'm like, that's so weird. That's so random. You and I met like a couple years after my dad had died. So he died when I was 12, and you and I met when we were like 13 or 14 or 12. How old were we?
We were 12.
We were 12. So it must have been
right after.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that. Did I? Yeah. So he died in April. So we must have started school like in September.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So not long. Yeah. Not long after.
Yeah. Did I talk about him?
Not really. You didn't mention much about him. And like, I don't know, instinctively, I think I didn't ask much either, just like knowing or getting the sense that like that was painful.
Yeah.
For you. I instinctively like just didn't really ask you much about it. I mean, maybe until we were older, but like at the time, I don't think I knew. Like when we were in middle school, and at least probably middle school, even maybe high school, like we didn't talk much about him.
Yeah.
Or that experience for you.
Yeah. I feel like it was something I guess I didn't really talk about because, I only put a photo of him up recently. So it's interesting.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Did you ever meet Lyall, who my mom was married to in La Jolla?
I don't think I ever met him. And if I did, maybe it was super brief, but I remember you talking about him a little bit here and there, but not a ton. I never really got a good sense about him when you
he was
talked
awful.
about him. Mm-hmm.
I think the only thing I'm grateful for him is being able to be in the school district and meeting you and meeting everyone I met and being able to go to a good school.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the only thing I'm really grateful for through that experience.
Yeah, at least you can take something positive from that.
Yeah. I wanted to talk about the East Coast trip because that was so fun. 6th grade East Coast trip. It's not in the book, but it was really fun.
8th grade.
Oh, 8th grade? Because your dad was the one who put it together.
Yeah. So that's his job, was to kind of like organize those trips and stuff. So that's kind of how he had connections with schools and all that. So yeah, my dad was on the trip, which made it even more like interesting, I guess. I don't know. At that age, you're just like, I was just kind of like, Dad, don't look at me. Don't talk to me. Like, I don't know you.
And then all the kids, they all paid to go. All the rich La Jolla kids. But there was a program or something to where your dad had something or the school had something to where if you couldn't really afford to go, you could apply or be part of some kind of special thing. Do you remember that?
Some kind of scholarship. Yeah, I want to say it was through the school that offered like scholarships if you couldn't afford to go or something.
Yeah, so I couldn't afford to go. Did you know that?
Yeah, well, I mean, maybe I didn't know until I read the book.
Yeah, I was like one of the scholarship people.
That's so crazy.
I went. And I went
I
and I'm
think,
like, am I the only kid that didn't pay for this?
mm,
And same
yeah,
like as, yeah. Do
yeah,
you
'cause
have to pay, or is it just through like your dad? He just like makes sure you're taken care of with him.
that's a good question. I mean, I
Yeah.
imagine that he has to pay something, but I don't know how that works.
Well, anyway, yeah, it was interesting. I don't know if I don't think it was just it was an amazing trip. We got to go. And how old were we in 8th grade? 14?
Mm, yeah, maybe
14.
13, 14.
And I feel like all we worried about was like boys on that trip.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I'm pretty sure we like snuck into boys' rooms even though that wasn't allowed. And like, yeah.
Is that like the age? Like, I don't know. Cause I feel like
I
that's all
think
we cared
so.
about.
I think that is kind of the age like where you're just kind of like have crushes and like it's just so new, like the thought of like going on a trip, like overnights and like hotels and there's boys like right next door. It's like that was so exciting and
I
oh my
know. And
gosh.
remember, everyone was calling each other's hotel room and they're like, turn on HBO. And it was like that naked show back in the day, Real Sex or whatever. Do you remember that?
I forgot about that. That's so funny.
We're like, wow, like there's porn on. And so we're all like calling each other's hotel rooms. We're all like 14-year-old children.
Yeah. Oh my
And then I
gosh.
forget who we had a crush on then. Was it like Alex Rothstein or like Avi?
I don't remember. I don't remember who
All
my
the
crush
boys
was
in
in
our
eighth
grade
grade.
seemed so little. Is it just me? Or like all the boys in our grade just felt like they were such little boys.
Yeah, but I mean, at 14, I guess you are little
I know. I did feel though that I was like maybe
bigger.
bigger in size than them as well and maturity. It was very weird.
Well, isn't that the thing too? Like girls just like mature faster than boys. It's like, yeah, we probably were larger than they were, taller and more mature.
But who were our crushes? I remember we're like with these like iconic things, like the cracked bell, like the Liberty Bell, and like all this stuff. And then I'm like,
Oh, we're
ooh,
like
like
trying to get pictures next to like
next
with
to
them.
the boys. I'm like, ooh, Joey's in my picture.
Scoot a little closer. I'll get him in the photo.
No, I
Oh
wish
my
my
gosh, but
costume.
that was the day of like disposable cameras. Like you didn't get to see your pictures until after the fact. So
I
it's like,
know,
oh my
I
gosh, we'd
know,
like
and then
develop the
look.
photos and then like super excited like looking at them later.
such a, such oh my god, what a loser I am. Such a loser. Because I got those photos and you think you're so cool. And
Oh my
I'm like,
gosh.
I wore
Okay.
like a metallic jacket with like metallic lipstick.
Well, I was going to ask you if you'd seen any of the photos because I think we thought we were so cute then and like so stylish. Like, and then I look back at the photos and I'm like, oh, wow, wow, wow.
I look like a dragon baby. It was so bad. Yeah. And then the hair like up with like the two chunks coming down.
Oh,
The two
yeah.
long pieces. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. And I was taking like sexy not sexy, but like sultry photos with Joey, the redhead with all the freckles.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And remember I hooked up with Joey on the bus. That's so awkward.
Oh my gosh. That's
Like
so
I don't know
funny.
what kind of base it is called when you're 14. Like
First base,
second.
probably.
I think we went a little more bases than that.
Oh, second base?
But that was, yeah. Did you have like a friend on the bus too, or was it just me and Joey?
No, I was
No.
definitely still like, hadn't even probably hit first base yet.
Why did I do the bases first? That's weird.
Yeah.
So
Well, it's not weird, but
when was your like first kind of boyfriend or like hookup person? Was it the guy with the H name or was it? So can we say names? Do you care?
H name?
I was thinking Hank.
Oh, no, it was Jeff.
Oh, Jeff Appleby.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I said the last name.
Yes, that one.
Oh,
Yeah,
Jeff
actually, you know what?
Appleby.
And Greg introduced us.
Greg?
Yeah.
He did? How did they know each other? Through school?
I don't know, through school, I think. Well, no, not
Okay.
school. They must have lived in the same area. Maybe
Okay.
they went to, I don't know.
Interesting. So, yeah, before Greg, it was Liam. That was my
Mm-hmm.
first boy, everything, Liam.
Mm-hmm.
And he was 17 and I was 14. So
Oh
that's kind of
yeah, that's a
young.
big difference at that time.
Yeah. Yeah. But it was the same thing where the people in our grade I felt were like a little younger. So
Yeah.
yeah, that was Liam. He was kind of awful, but it's in the book.
I remember him. And I mean, I think he was, looking back, I'm like, oh gosh, like, I don't know what you were thinking, but at the time he seemed like he was like older. He seemed like cool, like, I don't know, with his like baggy pants or whatever, but I don't know. Otherwise, like, it wasn't like he was super friendly to your friends or anything like that. Like, we didn't really have a friendship or a relationship, besides through you. Whereas I
Yeah.
feel like with Greg, it was different.
Greg. Should we get into Greg?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. So that's that'll be getting into chapter 4.